So welcome to the next video. It's going to be exceptional guest experience.
Yes.
Why would we offer exceptional guest experience?
So we call it guest excellence.
Right.
And well, explain what customer service is first.
Sure. Customer service is kind of like your basic bottom line service.
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's, you go in there and you order your Big Mac meal, and the McDonald's person, the cashier will ring you up and will deliver your Big Mac to you and fries and Coke, and then you exchange money. And that is your basic customer service. So what we want to offer you is a few levels above that, or what we want you to offer is a few levels above that, and that's guest excellence. Which is going way above and beyond the customer service and into guest excellence.
So basically you have an expectation up here.
Oh, thank you for the recovery.
When a guest, we do that all the time. We forget what we're saying. So it's just,
Yes.
We have so much knowledge up here that it gets so
Right.
clogged sometimes. So
That's the reason I have no hair.
So you have an expectation that's up here, and then you have, what's that?
Like whatever reality is.
Like this is where you come in. Guess what all this is right here? This is called disappointment. And it's the same thing for value and the price. If you have the price here and the value comes in down here because we didn't deliver what we should have to be over our price, then you have disappointment. And so you have to give them more value than what the price is. Meaning you have to give them a higher expectation above where you have to give them a higher reality
above their
than
expectation.
the expectation.
Right. And so, thank you. That was great. And so a good way to do that is by using the systems we have and by going above and beyond with the guest. We have a certain clientele that we want to give exceptional service to that they're not going to get in another place.
Yes.
And which gives us a great opportunity to do that. And the reason we call them guest instead of a customer, so guest excellence as opposed to customer service, is a customer has to do everything. Like when you went to McDonald's, you drove there on your own. You didn't call ahead, I didn't assume, and you walked in on your own and you told them what you wanted and you received and grabbed your food and paid, and when you got done, you went and threw your trash away and walked out the door. A guest is a lot different. The customer did all the work in that, and the guest, we want to take care of the work. So that is reaching out to different guests to give them additional opportunities that we may have for them to have a service that they could use. It could be whenever a guest does call in, we're going to treat them a lot better than a customer. We're going to offer them a lot more services. We're going to really dig in deep into what their needs are, and then maybe recommend a few different extra things that may be more beneficial to them. And when they come in for their reservation, we're going to go overboard to give them more service. We're going to give them a tour. We're going to go through a whole protocol that literally they don't need to do anything. And when they leave, we're going to do some certain things to help them come back. So everything we're going to do is geared toward us doing the work and them doing less work.
Yes.
And guest excellence.
Yes. And what this is going to do is it's going to create loyalty.
Yes.
Because of that. When a guest feels welcomed and they feel valued, that they're doing business with us, then they are loyal to
Yes.
us. And sometimes it's a lifetime that they're loyal.
Yeah, think of any other place you've been to where you just love the service. Now think back to, why did I love the service? What was it that made me love that service?
For me, it's usually how someone makes me feel.
I would
Has
say
very little to do with the actual service,
Right.
and more so how I felt when I left.
connection.
Yes. Which one more thing is if you have guest excellence, you're going to have loyalty, but they're also going to bring all their family and all their friends. So that's just one more benefit to having guest excellence.
Yeah, they're going to be singing your praises.
Yes.
One thing that I want to really talk to you about is if a guest is coming into the salon, if they're darkening the doors for any reason at all, man, we need to really have gratitude to that. That is the only reason that you're watching this video or that you're sitting where you are or working where you are, is the guest. And just having that gratitude of, wow, you could have chose anywhere else, especially in this area that we're at, where there's salons on every corner.
Yes. They can
What
go
an
anywhere.
honor. What an honor that they would choose us to come into. And so just keeping that in mind, that's going to help with your guest excellence.
It's also really important that you're a day maker.
What's a day maker?
Wow, I'm really glad you asked. So we have a book that is for our culture, and it's one of the 4 books that you'll read. And it is, but what is his name again? Do you remember?
I know he owns Jute Salon.
He owns Jute Salon out in Washington. And very successful. And there's a story in there where he talks about a woman that comes in and he does her hair that day and makes her feel so beautiful about herself, makes her feel good. He complimented her. He made her feel important and valued in her life. And so when she got home, she wrote him a letter. And in that letter, when he read it, it said, "Thank you so much," something like this. It said, "Thank you so much for making me feel important that day, because my plans were to go get beautiful, to go home and kill myself. And it was you that saved me and made me feel important. So thank you for that."
Wow.
And what an impact that is that we have on people. We're one of the last industries that we actually touch people and have a face-to-face interaction with them. Don't take that for granted. Our guests are so important. And if we are not being day makers all the time, they will find somewhere else to go. So it's up to us to make sure that every single guest that walks in that door has an incredibly amazing experience at Salon Adelle.
Yeah, that is great. What a great story.
Thanks.
Usually I will tell that story and I usually tear up almost every time. That's such a touching story.
It is.
So we're going to transition into the next thing, and that's the language we use in the salon. If you've been here for any amount of time, even an hour or two, you have seen or heard that we do things differently. We operate differently with systems. We speak differently. And I want to talk a little bit about why we speak differently. There's life and death in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
And words are so powerful. And think about whenever you open your mouth and speak something to anyone, there's only one of those two. It's either uplifting and encouraging and life-giving, or it's death, it's negativity, and it's something that has nothing to drive people down, has nothing positive to gain from it. And so one of those two is coming out. And so what we encourage you to do is really grab a hold of the thought before it comes out. Is this something that's going to be uplifting, encouraging, positive to say to a team member or guest?
Yes.
Because that's what we, our brand, the Salon Adelle brand, is all about positivity and positive thinking.
Yes.
It's very important. So the words that come out of your mouth are super important. And we use some certain words here like reservation versus appointment.
Yes. It's very important. And when you're talking about, writing about anything with Salon Adelle, that you use the word reservation, because it's actually a very interesting fact that people will cancel a appointment, because who wants to go to an appointment? I don't. It feels like a doctor appointment or a dentist appointment.
Okay, so every time I've had a dentist appointment, I do not want to go. Or a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to an appointment.
Right. But when I make a reservation at a hotel,
Oh, that's nice.
or I make a reservation at a nice restaurant.
Oh, they have some good restaurants.
Do you think I'm gonna cancel?
No.
No.
How are you gonna feel about a reservation?
Say that again.
How are you gonna feel about a reservation? Compared to
Excited. I'm gonna look forward to it.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not gonna cancel it. And I'll probably tell a couple of people that I have a reservation.
That's right. So it's important. The words are important, and that's just one: guest versus customer,
Or client.
Guest versus client. I went through that a while ago. I don't need to go through that anymore. What about save the date?
Save the date versus pre-booking. So
Pre-booking sounds boring.
yeah, pre-booking sounds like something I'm required to do.
Right.
Now,
Get your pre-booking done.
yeah, makes me feel like, okay. But if somebody says, hey, save the date for my party, or save the date for a girls' night, or save the date for family night, or whatever it is, if you're saving the date for something, you're excited about it.
Yes, I'll look forward to that too.
Yes, me too.
Especially if it's a reservation.
So then a little bit among the team, we have associate stylist versus assistant stylist. We used to use the language assistant, and what we found was that guests assumed that assistant meant you're still in school.
Yeah, or an intern or something
Intern,
like that.
yes. Or, I don't know, they have some crazy thoughts sometimes. And so we use the word associate stylist. And that just makes them sound a little bit more sophisticated, professional, that doesn't sound like they're in school anymore. So just make sure when you're talking about or introducing your associate for the day, you can just say, this is my associate stylist, or this is our associate stylist, and then use their name, and that you're not using the word assisting. Right. However, an associate is assisting on the floor. So you are using the word assisting a stylist, but you are considered an associate. Or if this is not for a stylist, then now you know what to call them.
Yeah. Did that make sense? I'm just kidding. I can't talk back. So I totally agree with that. And if you are a new stylist with Salon Adelle, then that's what people are going to be referring to you for, and you have completed a lot of education, and you are absolutely fully qualified to be a stylist. So that is something we want to talk about or say.
Yes. And then problem versus solution. Why don't you talk about that one?
So, man.
Well, I would ask you a question. What is more important, the problem or the solution?
I would say the solution, right?
Why?
Well, the solution is the fixing the problem. Is that right?
Oh, I see where you're going with that. No, actually, the problem is so much more important than the solution. So
tell me more.
What we do is when we have a guest in our chair, if they don't have a problem for something, let's say they come in and they rate their hair a 10 out of 10 on everything and there are no problems. You might feel like, where do you go with this guest? If they're happy with their hair now, they love their cut, they don't want to change anything, where do you go with that?
I see what you're saying. So you need to
find a problem.
You need to have a problem first.
And they need to admit the problem in order to find the solution. And so you'll hear us as a team talking a lot about finding the problem. Find the problem within that guest. Where are the challenges that they have? How can you fix it? How can you help?
So here's an interesting fact on that. If you have the ability to dig out that problem as a professional And then you are able to use what they say is a problem and give them recommendations and solutions. And then they take you up on that and you're able to succeed. You have accomplished some amazing task and you have won a guest. Absolutely.
Yes.
Find the problem, identify it, give them a solution, and then accomplish that. And that's it.
And then along with that, since we're talking about problems and solutions, if for some reason you have a problem at Salon Adelle, what we would say is find 2 solutions for that problem before you bring it to leadership. That just helps us in you taking the ownership in whatever that problem is that you're experiencing.
Yeah, it really helps from complaining.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then the last one is price versus investment.
Yes, I like how you're using your toes to get our computer notes going. You just did price versus investment a while ago. We can still do it, but you did expectations and reality. In the middle is going to be disappointment.
Well, but this is talking about not using the word price and using the word investment.
That's a good one. So this is one thing that I experienced is I heard you one time tell a guest a price. And you told them a price, like, let's say, I think it was $1,492, and you said $1,492.
Mm-hmm.
You said all the things that in your script to say, and then you told them it's going to be $1,492. And I thought, I wonder why she said that.
Yeah, so when at the front desk, if a guest is being checked out, we will say, your investment for today is, and then we'll give the total. We never say the T word.
The T word.
Or the H word.
Or the H word.
1,000 and 100.
Yeah.
We don't use those words here.
Those are bad words.
So it's if it is in the hundreds, it would be 186. Your investment today is 186. If it's in the thousands,
would have been $1,492 in my example. $1,492. That took a lot of breath. That took several breaths to do.
How would that make you feel if you heard $1,492.56?
As opposed to.
Does that sound like a lot of money or what?
$1,492.
So your investment for today is $14.92.86.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and get that taken care of for you today?
Yep.
Just like that.
Yep. That's it.
Okay, so the last one that we have for this is selling with integrity.
This is probably my favorite subject.
Yes. You'll hear us use this terminology quite a bit. Sell with integrity.
So we have the ability in our salon to really rack up a lot of cost or a lot of price on a guest if we wanted to. We have services and products that are high end and can cost a good bit of money. And whenever you're thinking about selling to a guest, if you're not selling with integrity, which is addressing their problems with solutions, if you just have an ulterior motive of, I just need to sell something, or I need to sell this to have a higher ticket, you can probably do it and get away with it. And the guest will most likely pay for it and leave. Do you think they're going to return? Do you think that they are going to have a good feeling about you or the brand? Most likely they're not. They may even tell a few people on social media about it. And so what we do is teach selling with integrity, which is find the problems that they identify with your questions. You will ask them questions. They identify the problems that they have with their own hair. You use their words to create solutions that you know that you can professionally accomplish. And you will use the products that you know will work amazingly on their hair and show them how to use it, recommend it, and show them how to use it at home. That is selling with integrity.
We actually have a little system for that. And this system is the most handy dandy little system I think that I have in my back pocket.
Yes, it's really neat.
So it's called What, Why, How, Love. And you can use this with anything once you know the concept of it. But anytime you're going to sell something, you're going to tell them what you're using. You're going to tell them why you're using it. You're going to tell them how you're using it and how they can use it at home. And then you're going to tell them what they love about it. And it is a very easy way to sell without being pushy. All you're doing is you are educating the guest, which is so important. If they want to reproduce their hair at home the way you did it in the salon, and hopefully that's the case,
Right.
then you want them to have the right support material in order to take care of their hair at home. Do you think they can take care of their hair at home using Pantene if you had to use 6 products to get their hair looking as beautiful as it does? No, they can't. And that is a huge disservice to that guest. That's that's so sad. I have been to places where I have wanted to know information and I would feel like I was pulling teeth to get it.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not gonna buy anything. I want someone to educate me as a guest. I want them to tell me how to use this at home,
Yes.
how to use it at night, how to use it in the morning, how often should I use it, what results should I expect.
Right.
I wanna know all of those things. So this little handy dandy system is just a really easy way to give them all the information that they need in order to make a solid purchase. So to give you an example.
I want to give one.
Oh, go ahead.
I've never done this one before.
Okay,
I'll sell you my water bottle.
sounds good.
All right, Adele, what I have here is one of the most amazing water bottles I've ever seen.
Yeah?
Why I love it, or why I'm gonna sell it to you, is because it will do an amazing job hydrating you and getting you through your day. How you're gonna do it is you're just gonna open the lid like this, take a refreshing sip, and it is going to replenish you for the day. What you're gonna love about this is when you're in public and you're carrying around this gorgeous pineapple water bottle, people are gonna love seeing it. They're gonna have some appreciation for you, and you're gonna hydrate yourself all day long.
Yes, I will take that water bottle, please. So that's just one way that.
Definitely a funny way to do it, but show me
Yes.
your phone.
So what I'm using is my phone. Why I'm using it is earlier you said you needed to see a photo of a particular hair that you're interested in. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna open up my phone and I'm gonna go to Pinterest. And then what you're gonna love about it is we're gonna have so many options to look through on Pinterest to see exactly what kind of hair
I'll
you
take that
want.
one. That was actually a great example, a better example than my water bottle, but you can use it for anything.
You can do it. You can use it with your spouse. You can use it with kids. You can use it with your teammates.
Yes.
You can use it with your guests
It
and
creates
everywhere
buy-in.
in life. Yes.
It creates buy-in. It takes what you're trying to get across and it brings them into it and gives them ownership into it.
Yes, it does.
And the reason is probably more so the very last one is what you'll love about it. And
Yes.
in order to sell anything, and we don't want you to sell anything, like get sales out of your mind. We want you to give
Solve problems.
Solve problems. And so with selling, man, why did I lose my train of thought?
You were talking about the what, why, how, love.
Yes, love. And so whenever you're going to be selling something to someone, if you can create what the future would benefit would be like, what the future feeling, what the future look, if it's extensions, it might be volume, it might be length, it might be a certain color, it might be certain pops into it. If you can create and sell them and what they're going to look, feel, and look and feel like, then you're golden.
Yes.
People buy the future. They buy future feelings.
Yes, they do, every single time. And if you use this system, you will very easily be able to sell products, services within the salon. So what it is, again, is it's what I am using, why I am using this is earlier I heard you say how I'm going to do this is, and how you're going to do this at home is,
Right.
and what you're going to love about it.
Right, and what we want to encourage you, this is your challenge, is start using this in the mirror at home. Grab anything you have and just start speaking and using it. It's not until you do it over and over and over, repetition.
Yes, it takes a lot of practice. So practice, practice, practice. Because you don't want to have a cheat sheet in front of you where you're reading off what
Right.
you're recommending. You want to be solid in that information. So it's up to you to memorize that and really grab hold of it and use it to your benefit.
Yeah, and talk to any team member and do some one-on-one using the same tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got it?
We got it. Boom.